Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play Ogre Battle 64. In this episode, we'll be starting the first battle, the battle for Scene 1 in Tenne Plains. But before that, there's something we want to do that we didn't do last time on the organization screen. We want to change our units' orders. Combat is actually, for the most part, completely automated in this game, and so we just set our units targeting AI. There's autonomous, which is basically just completely attack at random. There's attack strongest and attack weakest, which are pretty much self-explanatory. Although I'm not entirely sure what the game measures strength on. But that doesn't matter too much because we're going to be spending most of our time set to attack leader. So we're going to set all our units to attack leader. And exit the organization screen. The reason we do that is because leaders are fairly important to a unit. As you can see, as we dispatch all of our units here, each unit is represented by their leader on the battle map. So as we select a location, we can see all the units in that area. We can see the town that they're standing on as well. So we're going to start off by sending Magnus out to Mulsuck over here. I'm going to send Mr. Bad Guy over to Bourdeux. Actually, no, let's send... No, not Dio. Let's send Jank. I'll explain exactly why I chose him in a moment. Well, probably in a future episode. We're just going to send out some units to a bunch of different locations here. And unpause the game, and they start moving. Now that they've started moving, I'm going to send this guy the same place I sent Magnus. The reason I did that is just to stagger it a little bit. Now normally I don't recommend leaving your headquarters unattended, because if an enemy takes your headquarters, it's instant game over. But this is only the first mission, and I know that there's pretty much no risk of that, so I'm not too worried about it. As you can see, Magnus just found an old clothing. There's items hidden all over these maps. I'll be going over most of them, but well, maybe not most of them, because honestly most of them are pretty useless, and a lot of them are just kind of found by accident along the roads and paths between towns and stuff. But I'll go over pretty much all the good ones. So here Magnus is about to encounter the wizard. You can see they're facing each other. And that just means that they're facing each other head on, and both units are facing forward. And some lovely lack of backgrounds here. They're supposed to be standing on like a grassy field and just a path on it. I'm not sure why it's glitched out. The last time I did this same scene was like half an hour ago and it worked just fine. Anyways, the wizard here is the leader, so all of my party should be attacking him. Now there's only 3 things we can actually command in battle. You can see at the top there's 3 little squares with the bar that's filling up, and each time the bar fills up we get another command we can give. The first is just battle strategy, where we can alternate our battle strategy for this unit on the fly. If it fills up again, we get the option to retreat, which instantly makes your unit lose, but ends the battle right away and sends your unit flying backwards. And if it fills up a 3rd time, we get to use an elemental Pedra attack, which won't be available to us for a while, because these things, they fill up more the longer a battle is and the more damage you take. So it's going to be a while until the battles are long enough and we can take enough damage to really start using elemental Pedras. But for now we're just going to let the battle play itself out. You can see we killed their leader there. So now we're just kind of attacking at random. And next time we encounter this unit, it'll not only have no leader, but these units will be further weakened. And we won, which basically means that we did more damage than the enemy unit. So what happens here is the wizard, losing, gets catapulted away. And you probably saw there's a little skull above the wizard here, and that means he has no leader. So this whole unit is basically taken out of the battle at this point. They're just going to run around mindlessly because they have no leader to give them instructions. So basically the only thing they're good for now is for farming experience also off of. We found a Baldr sword. And I'm not too sure what bad guy is doing here, so we're just gonna tell him to stand there and face a certain direction, and that should stop his movement. So now once we, okay, it just said that Jank has liberated Bourdeux, and there's a difference between liberation and capturing a stronghold. I'll explain exactly what the difference is in a future episode, but for now I'll just tell you that liberation is preferential. It's not necessarily better, but for the type of game that I'm aiming for, we want to liberate. So we have here a witch and a griffin, which is a fairly poor unit, so we should have no problem taking them out. Might not end up killing their leader though. And witches, they just cast status spells, so they're very much not threatening units. And this unit is pretty much dead. But their leader is still alive, so chances are what they'll do is they'll start running for a stronghold to try and regenerate. You can see that by the little house icon above their head. So what we're going to do now is send our berserker up there to try and chase them down and hopefully get some free experience, because that unit is pretty much gone. But before that, Magnus has to fend off this knight, which is pretty much the same unit. You can see the one soldier I have on the left there regenerated a bit of health since the end of the last battle. And that's just because Magnus is standing in the stronghold. That just happens over time. And you can see the griffin used wind shot in the back there, whereas the last griffin I fought with the witch was using kind of claw attack, and that's just because he's in the back, like I explained last episode. So we took out the leader for this unit as well, so he should be tossed back and start running around mindlessly too. He's just up there with the witch. So we got a bunch of mindless units left. Now you can see the witch there is facing away. And so that means when I encounter this unit, its unit will be flipped backwards. And that's an important part of unit formations. And we win. We get 29 experience for our berserker. The experience you get is pretty much entirely dependent on enemies dying and what level they are in relation to your units. So we're going to send him after the knight now that he's dead. And let's get our beast tamer here. And he can't actually see the wizard, so we can't lock the cursor onto him, but we'll start sending him in that direction. And we're probably not quite going to be able to take out this griffin, but there should be no question that we win, which for this unit is all I really care about. I'll explain why probably next episode, maybe after that, we'll see. and we found an altar of resurrection. Now, as you can see, in the top left it says unit, and that just means the cursor is locked onto the wizard, or any enemy unit you can lock it onto. And if I press R, I can switch to location and tell this unit to go to a specific location. If I hit R again, I can lock onto a stronghold. That's just kind of useful. It's pretty basic, but I'll be using it a lot. So we'll tell him to go after the wizard, and the boss of this map just became visible, waiting for us in the Theodoricus mines. We're running a little bit low on time though, so most of the battle is done, but I'm gonna cut it here. So see you next time on Let's Play Ogre Battle 64.